today, this morning, around 11, I headed to Selkirk's headquarters. I am starting off this morning. I don't know, I woke up about 5 this morning, so I want to get some work done before I left. It's 7:19 a.m. I'm headed to the gym right now. I'm here. Can you see it? I can't see it. So I'm going to go work out. I'm gonna pump some iron, some FE. Okay, here we go. Headed to the airport. All right, look, I just found Building Pickleball. I refuse to call him by his actual name, so I just call him Building.
I don't think you've ever called me by my first name.
Yeah, so what's up, Building? In fact, right now, we've been talking about if I should even do this vlog, because I don't vlog. It's really hard. He's the vlog master. What advice would you give this vlog? Well, it's already edited, so at this point, we're gonna see if it lives up to your advice.
All right, let's see.
What's the advice?
Just film everything.
Okay.
Film everything.
At the Selkirk headquarters with Sean. All right, look at this. He brought me a what would be the right word for this? 002. This is like
a Tyson McGuffin special, maybe.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this thing. I played this paddle for so many years. All right, and then this paddle is literally either just released or today it's releasing. Watch us drill. Watch this. All right, first hit review here. Been playing this. I do really like this paddle a lot. The one thing that is noticeably different right off the bat is the spin of this one. That thing kicked, yeah. That thing kicked hard. That's too good. The shape on that is crazy. That's so good. What? I saw it as a biggest, and it's not me, it's the paddle, man. It's the Boomstick, it's not me, it's Boomstick. All right, in the car with Building. There's his tag right there. Headed to the Selkirk headquarters right now. This is the main day. There's more news coming. What else should I say? That is a lot of microwaves. Listen, dude, no other paddle company can stand up to the microwave game.
I think they need some more.
Oh wait, we got more. Yeah, this is actually where we got more microwaves going here too. So we walked around and you were showing us all the equipment. You mentioned invested more in the last 12 months than you had in the previous 12 months, 8 times more.
Yeah, 8 times.
As far as trying to make sure these paddles are tested and durable.
Yeah. And perform. The biggest thing is performance.
Okay.
Like that's the number one, and then we build in durability, and then all the other attributes.
This Boomstick, I hit it yesterday for about. I switched between this and the Era, which is the one I'm using right now, which is a great paddle. I mean, I played one tournament with it and I medaled it.
Yeah, you buried the O2, right?
No, the Power Air.
Oh, it was the Power Air. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was okay. I thought that was kind of a funny concept. I mean, it was.
You're gonna have to have another funeral.
I thought about that, but I actually thought because a lot of people are using the Era now, I probably shouldn't bury that one publicly. Because it still is a really great paddle.
Oh, I mean, it actually.
No, the Era is awesome. Yes. I mean,
well, it's hitting a totally different segment too.
What's the segment that the Era hits?
So I mean, it's a $200. So you're getting a high performance paddle for $200. It's power leaning a little all court, whereas the Boomstick is $333 and is kind of the ultimate power paddle. So it's a lot of control, but it's higher on the power spectrum. So it's just hitting a different price point and slightly different playing characteristic.
Could you re-articulate what's the main difference between the Era and the Boomstick? Like if someone was playing the Era and this is a decision I'm even going through right now, I've barely hit it, but I'm like, okay, should I switch over to the Boomstick? Yeah. How should I evaluate that based on maybe some of the data in the paddle? Yeah,
so from a data standpoint, Boomstick pretty much wins almost everything.
Okay.
You're getting more power, so it's about 14% more powerful than the Era, or exit velocity. You're getting a little bit bigger sweet spot, getting higher twist weight because we have the MOIs, moment of inertia system. And so you're just getting a higher twist weight, which means bigger stability, a little bigger sweet spot. And then, you're still getting great control. But the Era is still an amazing paddle for $200. So if price is not an issue for you, like in your current Era user, you're just gonna know it's more power. Probably it's a full foam system, so you're gonna get more durability, even though the Era is very durable for a polypropylene core. And you're gonna get more stability.
Okay. So I get the question a lot, like, hey, I'm new at this thing. What paddle should I use? All the way up to I'm playing 5-0. I see you're using this. Is that the right paddle for me?
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's hard for me because I'm like, well, I think paddles can be different for different people. But from a general standpoint, if you were looking at different segments of the market, maybe how many would you say? Is there 3 segments, 4 segments?
Yeah, 3. So from a performance standpoint, it's you got control, all court, and then power.
How would you define all court? Like a mixture of control and power?
A mixture of control and power. And so you can have some that go more all court plus, which are a little bit more powerful, ones that lean more control. So it's just a very well-rounded paddle that kind of does everything.
Okay, so right now, to put you on the spot, you have to recommend a paddle for someone under 100, recommend one under 200 or right at 200, and then I think the Boomstick is probably gonna say the Boomstick for the 333.
Yeah.
But what would you say for the first 2?
So 100, I would say right now, one of our sleeper paddles is just an amazing value is our raw carbon Atlas for $80. You get in a bundle for $130 with a bag. If you're $200, Era all day long. Like it's no brainer. You pretty much get everything with that, especially if you're wanting a little more power. And then if you're kind of wanting something more on the control side at the 150 mark, Halo Control is an amazing paddle. And then obviously if you want the ultimate paddle or ultimate power, the Boomstick. Okay.
Yeah. Just one thing I saw in there that I thought was fascinating was what's the machine that's shooting the balls at 110 miles an hour?
Yeah. We call it Thor's hammer.
Okay. So you put the paddle in there and you shoot for the Boomstick, it's 3,000 balls at 100. Can you explain that whole process? I thought that was fascinating, and we can throw some images up to show it as well.
Yeah. So we basically, again, going back to durability, right? We have cannons here, and then for our lower end products, we have cannons overseas too. But we're basically running 500 shots at 250 to 500 shots at a time, and then checking deflection to see if there's degradation. And then
what's the definition of degradation? Just if people are
basically just degrading. It's basically
wearing down.
It's wearing down. It's not performing at the same level. You're getting rust, right? And it's breaking down.
Cool.
Is a better term.
Okay.
And so we run more real world is probably like 65 miles per hour.
Okay.
Like, because I think the fastest people can serve is like 65. And there's some other math where you want it higher because you're having impact with the ball coming. But we tend to run 85 miles an hour is kind of like our test across the board with all models. That's kind of like if it can do that, it's going to be fine in the real world. Okay. The Boomstick, we've ran mostly 110. Okay. 110 miles per hour, which is crazy. I mean, you saw it. It's like blinding fast.
Yes.
And so we just really wanted to test the durability of the core at the utmost degree to make sure it held up.
Yeah.
And so we've ran that thing multiple times at 3,000. Different models, different batches. We would then go test PB core to make sure it's still in spec from all the legal limits, and we're always in spec. So what with that is like 110 miles an hour at 3,000 shots. I think we've taken a couple past 6,000. We still couldn't get them to break. We're basically torture testing this thing to make sure like it's going to hold to the highest standard. Now, keep in mind, this is composites, right? So you're never going to do all of them, 100% perfectly. It's impossible. But our goal is we want to build a system that we're constantly testing batches. We're holding all our component suppliers to a super high standard, our internal team to a super high standard, so that we basically avoid and have high efficacy or basically high quality in the market consistently from batch to batch and paddle to paddle. Okay. For paddle specifically, because the paddle market, I mean, if you've been around pickleball for a while, the paddle market the term has been used a wild west. There's obviously been controversy around paddles. There's been a lot of people that had to ask for refunds around paddles. And I think one thing Selkirk has, from my view, and some things you shared earlier, durability is a big thing. Making sure when people get a paddle in their hand, they are getting a paddle that's going to last and a paddle that's going to play well. So why is it so important to make a durable paddle? And can you talk a little bit about some of the paddles that are coming in the future? Yeah, so I mean, our brand's kind of been built on durability. So our goal is we want to be able to get you a product, it performs and stays stable at that performance level, and then basically it's going to last you a while, right? No equipment's going to last you forever, but the goal is like with normal use, it's gonna last you a really long time. And so we have a limited lifetime warranty, and we have a bunch of QC processes in place. So it's really important to us that we're basically putting good quality product out there that we know is gonna last and not degrade massively over time.
I play professionally, and there's a lot of talk around the pro game of like Selkirk doesn't have a power paddle that can compete against these other paddles. I felt that. I think a lot of other pros felt that as well. And at the time, it was frustrating because you're getting beat. And when you're losing 11-9 in the third against a paddle that is hitting however much harder than your current paddle. So there's other people that felt that frustration. I guess, what was your take on that whole situation?
Yeah.
And then what's different now than it maybe was a year and a half ago?
So the thing is, right, we were not going to participate in building something that broke to perform. That's what all these products were doing.
What does that mean, break to perform?
Basically, the core is crushed/breaking. The product is breaking to then give you that performance attribute.
Okay.
So those products are broken. And so we weren't going to build something that broke to basically perform at the ultimate level and then quickly degrade and then it's trash. So we're not building products with built-in obsolescence. That's what a lot of these brands are doing. They want the product to fail so that you have to buy another one. And so we didn't want to participate in that. And so yes, we definitely admit we were losing on the performance side, but we kind of went to the drawing board and we look at things from a very long span of time. Right. We've been doing this 11 years. We're not in this for the short term, we're in this for the long term. So that was about a year's time, and we knew if we started building out the R&D systems, building out the systems, that we would win long term, and that was our vision. So we were willing to take that short term frustration, retool, fight to also get it where this wasn't accepted, that hyper power paddles weren't accepted, that this type of speed isn't good for the game, and get it back to a reasonable realm, which we feel like we are now with the new USAP PB core and everything. So we feel like we're getting more to a reasonable realm, and you're starting to see that kick in now with the old stuff getting banned. And so we knew it was a short-term frustration, but if we built the foundation correctly, we built out the R&D. We spent 8 times more in R&D the last 12 months than the previous 12 months. Okay. If we built those systems in place to build products that could perform and stay stable, then we would win long-term. And so that's what we've been putting our efforts in, and that's what this Boomstick is basically kind of the first major product, basically to show off that we could do that.
Cool. And on that note, Selkirk has grown tremendously over the last few years, particularly. And as we've been on this tour throughout the day, you've used the word simplification quite a few times.
Yep.
And how does your mind work around simplification? Let's go specifically to paddles.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Selkirk paddles that hit different segments of the market.
Yeah.
And can you talk, like, what has that looked like, and then what's that going to look like moving forward?
Yeah. So we kind of started off with simplicity off the bat, just because we didn't have that many models, right? So like 10 years ago when we started with one model, then we added one, and then we got rid of that one, added another. And so we've had kind of a natural simplification over the last 10 years, most of the time, because we just didn't have a lot of models. Yeah. And so what happened, especially over the last 2 to 3 years, is we were trying to hit a lot of segments, a lot of price points, because we cater to everyone, right? We're the largest brand in the space. We want to build performance products, that's our core, but then we also build amazing $100, $80, $50 bundles for Costco, things of that nature. And so we've just really expanded. And what we found is we've just added too many models. And then with our new R&D efforts as well, we've been able to build what we call multifaceted products that basically one product achieves a lot of goals. Like it achieves, meaning a lot of play styles and a lot of players' needs in one product. Oh. We've been able to look at what our lineup looks like. What do we need to do to simplify, where the customer can come in, basically see what's going on, fully understand it or be explained it very easily, and then be able to make an intelligent decision and not feel overwhelmed. Okay. And so we're doing, our CMO has a great term I love, which edit to amplify. So we're just editing a lot, like we're cutting about half our SKU over time. It's going to take time, but half our SKUs over time to basically be able to offer a very clean lineup that basically consumers can be and players can be guided into and make a decision.
How would you define the amplify word? That's a great phrase, edit to amplify.
Yeah, so we're basically editing to have few models that we can hyper-focus our R&D efforts on and our marketing and communication efforts on, so it's exposed to more people. Okay. So that's amplify. So basically, because we have less, like we dealt with this on the clothing, which has been going great, but we launched our essentials, we had 24 like styles, right? So it's just hard when you have all that. You're trying to communicate all these styles well, which our team did great, but it's just a lot to communicate.
Yeah.
Whereas with like shoes, we had 2 models, very clear communication. People kind of knew what they were getting into. And so we're trying to kind of, and that went really well. So we're trying to kind of basically replicate that in general across the board.
Maybe the most fascinating thing I heard when we were doing the tour inside was, because you've invested so much in the equipment to test and make these paddles better, is that usually you'd have to go back to a manufacturer overseas. There's email exchanges, there's phone calls, there's wait times for shipping, even if you're expediting. And now you have so much of this equipment inside. Can you talk about the time frame, the time collapse that you can actually have by what you've invested in and what that means for people to get better products?
Yeah, so we're big on vertical integration. So how it works right now, if you're just an average manufacturer, even all the large manufacturers other than us at this point, is you will tell either a factory in China, mostly in China, make a paddle to this spec. They'll send you samples, you'll test it. Maybe you can run deflection. Most people have deflection. You kind of get a ballpark idea where you are with most of the rules. You don't really know for sure. And most of them don't have durability processes in place either to see if it degrades from that, quickly or not. And so you're going to take probably 2 to 4 weeks to get that. Then if you want to actually have it run all the body of tests, you got to send it into the governing body, USAP or an independent lab. You're in minimum of 2 weeks if you're paying for it. Most of the time it's a couple months. And then you'll find out if it fails. Then if you find out it fails, they're not going to know why it really failed. There's going to be a failed. And so then you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out why do we think it failed? And then you got to communicate to the factory. And so you're talking, there's just all this back and forth that could take weeks to months just for one iteration at a time. We're able, between our Beck facility, we could build a prototype. We can get it here. We could test preliminary numbers. We could test PB core, know if it passes. And then we can run it on the durability test and see if it holds up within a 24-hour period if we wanted to. So 48 at worst. And then we can take, if we have partner facilities overseas, we can take and hand them data more readily to be like, this is exactly what you should do. And then we just get a better end product, and then we have QC process in place to make sure that product stays where it's supposed to be.
That's part of the reason that Selkirk can get more paddles out quicker. Is that a true statement than most other people at a similar quality, at a high quality, because of all these testing measurements and ability to do it in house? Correct.
And keep in mind, a lot of the like we've basically been working on all the separate puzzle pieces, and now everything's basically coming in and meshing and working together. And so that's happened the last several months. And so now the engine's starting to get going, and the Boomstick's kind of like one of the first iterations off of that. And then the goal is it'll just continue to get better. Now, with that said, we're not just going to keep launching products. We're just going to it's just going to give us more time to really focus on what those particular products, what we want them to do. With our simplification, right? We're simplifying to basically Boomstick's Ultimate Power. We're going to have an Ultimate Hybrid, Q4 probably of this year. And then we're going to have the Ultimate Control, which is Lux. And so it'll just give our team time to really improve those products and then just have a consistent launch schedule. And people just know it's like, Lux 2 is improved. Lux, Boomstick 2 is improved.
Shoes.
Yes.
Just what's the vision for, why do shoes? And then, what's the vision for the shoes coming in the next couple of years? Yeah, so as a brand, we're all in on pickleball. We're only going to be pickleball. And so for us, it's building our entire ecosystem from a product standpoint. We want to still keep it simple, but building out that entire framework. So we want to be able to equip people head to toe and really help their entire pickleball experience to have a better experience. And so footwear was just a natural place to go. Everyone tells you stay out of footwear, but we've spent 4 years kind of learning it. And then we had the new Court Strikes come out. They've been great. We're already improving that, improving durability, improving a bunch of stuff, fit, comfort. And so shoes are going to probably be our second largest category, hopefully long term, and we're just going to continue to invest. And it's just building out that whole experience in that ecosystem, and we have a really good team that basically manages that side of things. You're wearing some right now, right? Yeah, I'm wearing the new Legacies that'll come out. These ones are these are the ones that are these ones that could be court shoes, but also like kind of casual wear around. Yep. So this model, this is the classic variant, and the mission statement on this was basically build a shoe that you could wear to work or on a date, and it won't look out of place, but then it has all the performance attributes, and our new rubber system that's insanely durable too. Yeah, cool. And then we'll have a pro version that looks more modern. I guess if work
was on a pickleball court and you were on a date,
Yeah.
you could be wearing the same shoe.
Dude, yeah, you're all in. You go on a trip, you one pair of shoes.
Yeah, and last thing, we just did a walk around
Yeah.
one of the Selkirk buildings. Is this like your Steve Jobs walk? Is this how you like?
Yeah, I walk. I walk. I'm a pacer. All of us Barnes are. So yeah, we did that. I'll do this, but then there's a bunch of buildings over there, so I'll walk. I mean, I've walked for hours before on calls and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I'm a big walker.
Thanks for doing this. This was fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.